Hey, good Monday. Thanks for joining us here on THV 11 Plus as well as online on THV11.com. Big story in the weather department is the scorching heat that many of us are already feeling. And unfortunately, we're going to be feeling for the next several days. Here's what the rest of the day has in store for us. We'll see a high today in the metro area of 100 degrees. I think it's possible folks here in Pine Bluff may see 101. Further west you go, better confidence is that we'll see those triple digits. In fact, Fort Smith could top out as high as 104, 102 here in D Queen. Of course, we have some elevation that helps us stay a little bit cooler in places such as Mena there in Polk County, 99 Clinton, 98 Batesville, Searcy, and Stuttgart. It's going to be hot no matter where you're at, whether the temperature is 98 or 100. Because of the humidity, it's going to feel pretty steamy for many of us. You'll notice we're going to be in those 90s, low 100s for the next few hours, slowly cooling down by this evening. But here's the thing. I think by 9 o'clock, we're still likely in the low 90s. So maybe you were putting off some yard work or walking the dogs. Just know that it's not necessarily going to get cool quickly. In fact, we only drop into the upper 70s by tomorrow morning before we do it all over again. It truly is some dangerous heat. I know we've had so many of these exact heat alerts on and off all summer that it's pretty easy to become desensitized to these warnings and these alerts and what they mean. But don't let your guard down. In fact, the National Weather Service issuing a bit of a call to action this morning saying, hey, don't get complacent. This truly is some dangerous heat. And here's the thing. It's not only going to be hot, dangerously hot today, but continuing tomorrow and the next day and the next day and likely into the first half of this weekend. So perhaps you're out and about wanting to do some yard work or you work outside. You really got to take care of yourself with temperatures like this. An excessive heat warning in effect for all the pink shaded counties here. Now, just as a reminder, excessive heat warnings are the highest level of a heat alert that can be issued, and they're reserved for days anywhere that we have heat index values north of 110. That's likely for many of us just about every day this week. The exception today being southeastern Arkansas, but notice this, tomorrow will expand those excessive heat warnings. They're replacing some of those heat advisories for most of Arkansas's counties. Out of the 75, all but 4 will be under that excessive heat warning tomorrow unless that changes tonight. Weather Service could go ahead and extend those excessive heat warnings to include all 75 counties. Would not be surprised if that doesn't happen. It's going to be hot this week. You're looking at afternoon high temperatures trending upward as we go towards Friday, ranging anywhere from 10 upwards of 14 degrees above normal for this time of year. But you'll find on Saturday we're coming back down to 100. Still going to be blazing hot. If you got plans on Saturday, just know that it will still be pretty warm out there. Sunday's not going to be cool by any stretch of the imagination, but you see a temperature trend like that, that tells us there's a cold front going to be moving through the area. It's more than likely going to be a dry cold front, so it's probably not going to bring much in the way of rainfall or storms. Here's what's happening. Big ridge of high pressure that's pretty much centered right on top of Missouri and Arkansas. That's on top of us today and tomorrow, and as it is, it's going to strengthen. It's going to tighten its grip on the natural state before slowly beginning to retreat back off towards the west. As it does, it weakens just a bit. So we're not going to get a big dip in the jet stream to bring us a big blast of Canadian air. However, it will retrograde just enough that we'll see some of those northwesterly winds bring in that drier, cool front going into Sunday and into early next week. And we talked about rain chances. There's no rain expected over the next several days. With that high pressure as strong as it is, we're likely going to be dry for the most part. No meaningful rainfall anticipated anytime soon. It's actually pretty easy to see where that ridge of high pressure is, just simply based off of the lack of rainfall sitting under that heat dome. The jet stream is displaced anytime that heat dome really settles in, and that's why most of our rain over the next 7 days will be pretty much everywhere except for in Arkansas and those of us sitting under that ridge of high pressure. There are some things to be watching out in the tropics. It is getting to be that time of the year as we approach peak hurricane season. Now, thus far, hurricane season's been pretty quiet out there, certainly changing rapidly. In fact, we have an area of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico right now that's now up to an 80% chance of becoming a named system. over the next 48 hours. Now, it's probably going to impact the western Gulf Coast. So that's places along the Texas shoreline, parts of Mexico, bringing some rains those directions. Given the heat dome that's in place, it's going to act as a steering current to pretty much keep that system to our south and our west. So no impacts expected from this system. Franklin looks to turn back out to sea. Gert is not moving much, but generally not going to impact us. There's another system, Emily, and then another one just off the coast of Africa that we're all going to keep a close eye on. While nothing looks to be taking aim at the United States or certainly Arkansas anytime soon, it is that time of year. We can see tropical impacts, so we watch these storms pretty closely. In the meantime, a quiet and hot forecast. 100 for your Monday afternoon high temperature, 78 when you wake up Tuesday morning. It's going to be warm and muggy, but I certainly would recommend taking that over the triple digits anytime. If you got to have plans to be outside, you got to get that yard work in, or the dog just won't play inside much longer. Early in the morning or late in the evening if you can help it. 101 Tuesday, 101 Wednesday, jumping up to 102 and 103 by Thursday and Friday. Certainly going to be hot, and I do think some records stand to be challenged, if not broken. Some of these records have been on the books for a really long time. We'll get through Saturday, and we should have that front come through, provide a little bit of relief on Sunday. But here's the thing, even though it is a cold front, and even though it is going to provide some relief, our temperatures actually on Sunday, believe it or not, still likely a bit above average. Again, average this time of year is 91. We're still going to be a tick or two above that. That's a check of your THV 11 7-day forecast. So we'll have any updates right here on THV 11 Plus, on air, and THV11.com.